So, Christian studied technology of renewable resources at the University of Applied Sciences and Arts in Hanover, worked from 2011 to 2019 as a research associate at the Institute for Bioplastics and Biocomposites in various third-party funded projects, among others for development of a database for products made of bioplastics for public procurement, and as well as sustainability team for market analysis, calculation of land use, and life cycle assessment of bio-based plastic. Since January 2020, he has been in charge of the EU project activities of European bioplastics. He will give us an introduction and overview on BioOnTop activities and expected results. So please, Christian, the floor is yours.
Yes, and thanks, Mara, for the very kind introduction. Now, I hope the technical issues play with me. And thanks also, Patricia, for pointing out on that one. Actually, we are quite happy today to be part of the Ecofunco workshop and showing a bit how nicely and smoothly actually European projects can work together. In this case, of course, dealing with the power of bio-based coatings, so to say. So we are also happy to have the colleagues from BioOnTop here today, from Centexbel later on, and as well from Hochschule Albstadt Sigmaringen, ASU. They will present some more details on BioOnTop in detail, and I'm just giving a quick introduction overview on the project itself and what are the expected main results actually. And with that, I just jump into it. And if I get to the next slide, yes, then I will tell you a bit about it. Maybe just about the role of European bioplastics in BioOnTop. We are working at as communication and dissemination management and support of the communication activities, and makes in a bit sort of course sense, as we are or we have like 25 years of experience in bioplastics industry. But we ourselves do not see us as a very conventional industry association. Actually, we try to represent more or less the interests of all bioplastic stakeholders among Europe and among the whole value chain that is as well. And so we are trying, of course, to build and strengthen coalitions and form a very supporting policy framework within the European Union and along the member states levels, so that we will have a good stakeholder dialogue, and also having, of course, the issue being a small, or at least at the moment, compared to the fossil-based plastics industry, a smaller industry that might need also a bit more to get together and forming these networks. Actually, as I said it before, we formed like in 1993, actually representing only the biodegradable materials at that point, but with the ongoing developments and with all the nice, as we already seen today, with the nice bio-based materials and developments ongoing in 2005, we actually rebranded for European bioplastics, because we saw like bio-based materials at all are very important. And today we have around 70 members in the different part of the value chain. And as I said, it more or less what we do is actually on networking and forming coalitions. Here I'm just giving a quick overview. You can have a look at it in the handout, and later on, as I said it, we show or we represent more or less the whole value chain. So really from the renewable raw materials producers up to the brand owners and the end consumers. This is what we are actually. But of course, very important point is actually the outreach within the research community. And this is also why we are here today, and why we are committed in research projects such as BioOnTop, and working together with Ecofunco and forming also alliances. One only thing I would like to mention, what you might know about us or you might not know about us, but then you can remember it, is the seedling mark on the bottom right, which we inherit. So we actually support standardization and certification labeling we have seen a lot of the other labeling systems according to the same European norms in the previous presentation, so I won't go into detail on that one. And of course, one thing, as I said it, we are trying to form a little networking hub. We are a member of the European Bioeconomy Alliance and forming also together with our other European organizations, the Bioplastics Organization Network, the BION. And of course, networking does not work without any actual gathering together. And so we have our annual conference, which is the largest bioplastics industry forum in Europe. And of course, you are all invited also to reach in your abstracts and as the call of papers for this year's conference is still ongoing. It's of course a nice opportunity to also present the projects at our conference. As I said, research projects are also very interesting for us, of course, and this is an overview of the recent activities that we are involved, but I won't go into detail on that one. Mostly the both projects also just started or running. In the bottom of the slide, Preserve and BioSupac are also dealing with bio-based packaging and how to improve it. And this is also what actually BioOnTop has in mind on actually developing novel packaging films and textiles, and where we try to tailor a bit the end-of-life properties and the performance, of course, in terms of bio-based copolymers and coatings. So why we do this? Actually, BioOnTop is not born out of nothing, so to say. It's actually the logical consequence of all the ongoing discussions we have had so far, as we have with conventional plastic packaging very interesting and very low cost, lightweight, very performant materials actually, which are versatile in its properties. But the problem on the other hand is that we are relying on actually finite resources. We are using fossil based materials, and especially when it comes to food packaging, also we use multi-layer structures which are actually very hard to recover or to recycle yet. And the same is also going for textile packaging. And actually all these cases and leftover products make material recycling very challenging in this case. And this actually led us to BioOnTop, which we are at the moment at about the half time of the project. So we are getting more and more to getting the results. And actually we are centering a bit around PLA and other at the moment higher TRL levels available biomaterials, also such as PHA, which Willem will later on tell a bit more in detail. And actually this is, as it is the most affordable bio-based and biodegradable plastic, which is why we focused a bit also on the PLA and copolymerization on that one. And biodegradability is also proven for these ones, although it is not granted in every environment. So therefore we of course have different end-of-life options to develop. And as you all know, as the current situation, speaking of the fossil-based, non-degradable, or still very linear end-of-life options of our packaging materials, you also see here this nice loop of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation on the left-hand side, showing a bit the real amount of streams that we are going around in. And having that in mind, that we only have like 1/3 of the materials of the packaging materials or the plastic waste being recycled and the rest being landfilled and incinerated. This is let's formulate it that way, that we really have a high potential and opportunity here to reach for higher goals in this case. And this also will help us in terms of the collection of organic waste, and organic recycling can here also play an important role, and keep also away or reduce the amount of environmental leakage. So coming a bit to the details of Bio on Top. Actually, it's a BBIJU project, so we are very happy to be tackling this call in this case, and our main goals is actually, as you can see it, as it is in Research in Action program, that we will raise the basic TRL level here and showing more performance. So as I said, we are on halfway through the project, and yeah, from budget-wise, we are happy to be able to work with around 5.4 million euro to develop all of our prototypes. Coordinator of the project itself is Einplus, located in Spain, and we have a bunch of very expert partners here of 21 actually, where we also have the different associations, and plus 7 big members in the advisory board supporting us in on the way actually to developing it, and we are located in 8 different countries here. If we go a bit more,
excuse me, Christian, you have
yes,
5 minutes left.
5 minutes left, yeah, right. If we go a bit more into detail, what's actually the main goals of the projects, then it's actually the seven demonstrators, or the 7 prototypes that we are going to develop. Actually, you can summarize them a bit in terms of new bio-based copolymers, so taking the PLA, making copolymers and compounds out of it, developing biocomposites and coatings. So for the various application sectors, such as trays and films, multi-layer films for multi-atmospheric packaging, for dairy and personal care products, and of course also the textile-based nets and coated textiles, but also woven and coated fabrics, for example, like for food wraps. So you can all summarize this all together, that the idea is to have all of them being recyclable in terms of either material recycled, with, if you see a little star here for the trays and films, for example, or for the multi-layer packaging and the coated woven fabrics, and for the other remaining prototypes, we are going for organic or home compostable recycling options on that hand, as it is natural. If you have some food leftovers for the different prototypes, then it might be a very good opportunity to show off also for these end-of-life options. And nonetheless, is a very important topic also, making use or recycling reusable secondary packaging materials, such as extruded blown bags or non-woven bags. And all of this is supported with tools along the life cycle to make sure that we are reaching the right amount of eco levels, so to say. So all in all, summing up a bit, what are the main value proposals and impacts? We are going for closed 100% biosourced and also secondary raw materials, roughly about 2/3 of feedstock in terms of making reusable materials, and of course reaching the same or even better barrier packaging and functionalities that are advanced compared to their fossil-based conventional materials available in the market. We will meet the processability, of course, that is needed from the converters and the processors to reach to make actually the products out of it, and yeah, actually being versatile in every part that the end user sectors is able to accept these ones, and yeah, that we have, of course, a good and maximized consumer perception on that one. Being recyclable is per design then, of course, one of our main option for the end-of-life ideas, and depending on the different applications, it can be, of course, different options on here. And you can see it a bit on the right-hand side in the below. We also developed this eco-design support tool, which will help us to select the different and best materials for the different end-of-life options within the different bio-based value chain approaches. By that, of course, we will try to be as cost competitive as possible by also reducing the handling fees for the different end-of-life options. And yeah, that's more or less what we are getting out of it. And I'm happy to have my colleagues from Centexbel and ASU here later on, also showing a bit more in detail, as I just was able to give a brief overview so that you have a glimpse of an idea of how BioOnTop and Ecofunk work together. And yeah, actually with that, I would just like to close with, maybe I just jump over it, just close with this vision actually that we have, so that we can actually BioOnTop as part of being able, like Ecofunk as well, closing the carbon loop cycle and making really a very circular model of our bio-based plastic materials. Okay, that's should it be for the moment. And if you have any questions, of course, I'm happy to answer it.
Thank you, Christian, for your presentation and for introducing BioOnTop, which is, as you know, one of our most beloved Sibling projects. So thank you.